In the shadows of Australia's political heart, secrets linger where no one dares to tread. Canberra, a city built on ambition, hides a darker past, a tapestry woven with tragedy, ghostly whispers, and unexplainable phenomena. Brace yourself as we unearth the top 15 haunted locations in the Australian Capital Territory, where history and hauntings collide. Are you ready to confront the chilling truth? National Film and Sound Archive, Canberra. The National Film and Sound Archive of Australia, nestled in Canberra, holds a chilling secret beneath its somewhat unassuming facade. This building, while known for its collection of Australia's cinematic and auditory treasures, has a darker past that whispers through the reels of film and recordings. Before it became the vibrant hub for preserving the nation's audiovisual heritage, the site was home to the Australian Institute of Anatomy. This institute was formed in the early 20th century, where it played host to cutting-edge studies in anatomy, including the collection and preservation of human remains. It was here that the dead were once treated as mere objects of study, the souls perhaps unceremoniously departed, but still restless. Imagine walking through the halls where lives once dissected seem to linger, their stories fragmented yet palpable in the air. Visitors and employees alike have reported strange occurrences. There's talk of inexplicable cold spots that sweep through the building, often seeming to follow the path of unsuspecting individuals, like a shiver that wraps around your spine and pulls you back into a forgotten memory. Rumor has it that some have felt an invisible weight pressing down on them while standing near the archives, where the stillness feels almost suffocating, as if the collected histories are trying to impart their hidden knowledge. One particularly haunting tale comes from a night watchman who spent his shifts alone in the dimly lit corridors. He claimed he repeatedly heard soft murmurs echoing in the stillness, as if the past was crying out for recognition. On one occasion, he felt a gentle tap on his shoulder, only to turn and find nothing but shadows stretching across the walls. The unsettling sense of being watched was omnipresent for him, igniting a primal fear that kept him on high alert. Then there are the fleeting shadows that dart past the corners of one's eye, often seen out of the corner of the lens, an elusive phenomenon that stirs the imagination. It's said that the remnants of those who once walked the hallways as medical professionals now find themselves haunted by the very bodies they studied. This sense of tragic irony courses through the stories shared by locals who regard the archive not just as a place of preservation, but as a haven for spirits unwilling to let go of their terrestrial connections. It's easy to dismiss these accounts as mere figments of overactive imaginations or tricks of light and sound. Two, Old Parliament House, Canberra. In the heart of Australia's capital, Canberra, stands a building so steeped in history that its walls seem to whisper the secrets of those who once roamed its hallowed halls. Old Parliament House, constructed in 1927, was the cradle of political debate and a site of profound national decision-making. But lurking beneath the veneer of democracy is a shadowy past that invites speculation about its current inhabitants, those who linger, long after their time has ended. During its operational years, the building witnessed the birth of policy and debate, but not all discussions were conducted in comfort. Power struggles and divisions permeated the air, and some say that the intense energies of those political clashes never truly left. Staff members and visitors have reported hearing disembodied voices, as if the echoes of legislative battles still rage within its walls. The laughter of children has also been heard drifting through the grand corridors, leaving many to wonder, who are these spirited little ones that chose to play among the remnants of power? One particularly chilling incident happened in the 1990s. A night maintenance worker, tasked with checking the building's locks, reported an unsettling experience. As he moved through the dimly lit rooms, he felt an icy draft pass through him, followed by an inexplicable sense of being watched. His heart raced as he turned to see a shadowy figure standing at the end of a corridor, only to vanish moments later. leaving him questioning his sanity. Such encounters aren't isolated. Staff often share tales of mysteriously malfunctioning lights and the feeling of unseen presences. But the history of Old Parliament House also holds darker stories, ones tainted by the injustices and suffering that occurred at the hands of those in power. It was here that policies were enacted which displaced indigenous peoples, leaving behind a legacy of pain that some speculate haunts the very foundations of the building. People claim that on quiet nights, the cries and wails of the dispossessed can be heard, a chilling reminder that in the pursuit of progress, many paid an unspeakable price. Even during public tours, guides warn visitors to be cautious, as some have reported cold spots, a skeletal shiver creeping up their spine, particularly near the old chambers. Three, Blundell's Cottage, Canberra. Beneath the serene surface of Canberra, Blundell's Cottage whispers a different tale, one woven with sorrow and unquiet souls. Built in 1858, this charming heritage-listed cottage once served as a residence for those managing the local water supply. What was once a simple home is now a site where history blends chillingly with the paranormal. Visitors often report an unsettling sensation upon stepping inside, like walking into a moment frozen in time. The air is thick, heavy with an inexplicable weight, as if the walls themselves hold secrets they're desperate to share. Some say you can hear the soft, ghostly murmurs of the past echoing in the corners, whispers that seem to drift in from nowhere, following you as you explore. But it's not just the feeling of being watched that troubles the living. There are eerie encounters that linger in the minds of those who have ventured too close. One of the most compelling stories involves a visitor who felt an icy hand brush against her shoulder while she stood in the kitchen, surrounded by relics of a seemingly ordinary life. She shot around, expecting to find someone behind her, only to be met with an empty room. The cold lingered long after she stepped outside. Locals recount tales of a woman in a white dress, seen standing by the window late at night, gazing out toward the backyard that once bustled with life. Some believe she's the spirit of a former resident, perhaps a caretaker or a loved one lost to the harsh realities of that time. Those lucky or unlucky enough to witness her apparition never forget the despair painted across her ethereal face. Children, too, seem to sense something amiss at Blundell's Cottage. They often claim to see an old man sitting on the front porch, the sunlight shimmering as it glances off his figure. But when approached, he vanishes into thin air, leaving nothing but fading laughter behind. There's also the inexplicable chill that envelops the garden at dusk, a shiver that speaks volumes of those who deemed the place home before it became a mere tourist spot. As night falls and shadows stretch across the ground, a sense of dread permeates the air. Was it the hardships of life that tethered these spirits to their dwelling? Or was there something more sinister at play? Each creak of the floorboards feels like a call, a gentle tug at the seams of the world between the living and the dead. We may never fully comprehend the unresolved pain tethered to Blundell's Cottage. Four, Government House, Yarralumla. In the heart of Australia's capital, Canberra, lies a place draped in power and history, the Government House, known as Yarralumla. This Victorian-era mansion, standing since 1927, isn't just a home for dignitaries. It's a tapestry of forgotten stories, whispered tragedies, and eerie encounters that clings to its walls like a heavy fog. It began with architect John S. Murden's design, envisioned as a grand residence for the Governor-General. But what many don't realize is that Yarralumla sits on land that tells a much darker tale, once occupied by the Ngunnawal people. Colonization brought not just new beginnings, but also profound loss, displacement, and suffering. The very soil saturates the air with echoes of those who once walked here, voices silenced by the weight of history. Inside, visitors have reported encounters that are hard to dismiss. Staff members have often whispered tales of shadowy figures gliding silently through the corridors. And strange noises resonate deep into the night, like the sound of a child laughing or footsteps echoing where no one is supposed to be. The most chilling accounts stem from those who've worked late, more than once. They've sensed a presence nearby, a cold rush of air, before spinning around to see nothing but the empty silence of the halls. But one particularly gripping tale involves one of Yarralumla's past residents. It's said that an old garden, once tended to with love, is now haunted by the ghost of a woman dressed in white. She's been spotted wandering among the rose bushes, her fingers brushing the blooms as if searching for something lost. Many believe she's a remnant of a bygone era, a spirit caught between wanting to tend the land she nurtured in life and the harsh reality of being trapped in death. And there are nights when the house seems alive, with whispered secrets. Staff have shared harrowing reports of feeling watched, as though unseen eyes track their every move. On occasion, elderly visitors, drawn to the serene gardens, have claimed to feel a sudden chill or see fleeting shadows dart past them, leaving them shaken. One former visitor described feeling as if someone had brushed against her shoulder, only to turn around and find nothing but the stillness of the night behind her. So, next time you pass by Yarralumla, pause for a moment. Picture the history etched into its walls and the ghosts that linger within. After all, as the sun sets and shadows lengthen, perhaps the spirits of the past aren't so far from us after all. 5. Currajong Hotel, Barton. At the heart of Barton, towering over the streets like a guardian of lost souls, stands the Currajong Hotel, once a lively retreat for weary travelers in the mid-20th century. It now has a shadowy reputation that chills even the sturdiest of hearts. Stories drift from its faded walls, whispers of tragedies and untimely deaths that intertwine with its history, casting an eerie veil over the establishment. The hotel first opened its doors in 1928, a welcoming beacon set against the backdrop of the Australian outback. But the human dramas that have unfolded within its walls are far from the quaint narratives of hospitality. It's said that the ghost of a young girl, believed to have died in a tragic accident nearby, still roams the halls, her laughter echoing softly in the midnight air. Patrons have reported sensations of cold spots, flickering lights, and the unmistakable feeling of being watched as they navigate through the dimly lit corridors. But it doesn't stop there. Staff and guests alike have shared unnerving encounters. Some claim they've seen shadowy figures darting just out of the corner of their eyes, only to vanish the moment they turn their heads. In room 6, guests have reported their belongings moving or disappearing entirely, only to inexplicably reappear days later in odd places. One particularly unnerved guest swore she felt the distinct tug of fingers on her hair while she slept, as if someone or something was trying to pull her deeper into the spectral embrace of the hotel. A well-known tale involves a barmaid who vanished without a trace in the 1950s, her fate never uncovered, yet said to haunt the hotel in search of answers. Regulars recount how glasses fly off the bar, as if thrown by an unseen hand, while the kitchen staff have claimed to hear the clinking of utensils and lingering, disembodied voices when no one else is around. Even the staff witness these unholy phenomena. One former night manager remarked on a lingering chill that seemed to descend upon the lobby each night, accompanied by the faint scent of lavender, reminiscent of the barmaid, hauntingly reminding those who encounter her of her unfinished business. As you stroll through the Currajong, you can't help but wonder, what tether keeps these spirits bound to this world? Is it the tragedies that unfolded here, or perhaps the echoes of dreams shattered? The walls may hold their secrets tight, but the hotel remains an unsettling veil, shrouded in whispers of the past, inviting every skeptic and believer to face their fate. 6. National Museum of Australia, Acton. Nestled in the heart of Acton, Australia, the National Museum of Australia looms a contemporary building that houses a vast collection of our nation's stories. But its walls might whisper of darker narratives. The museum, which opened its doors to the public in 2001, is located near the banks of Lake Burley-Griffin, a place shadowed by untold tales. While many flock there to explore Australia's proud legacy, few know the unsettling shadows lingering just outside the spotlight. Strangely enough, the land the museum occupies carries a heavy history, predating its construction by centuries. Long before it became a museum, the area was familiar to Indigenous Australians, known for sacred sites rich in culture and spirituality. Many believe that the spirits of those who have walked this land for millennia still roam, watching over their heritage, a fact that makes one pause when stepping inside this otherwise modern structure. Visitors often describe an eerie sensation, an inexplicable chill, especially in the museum's back corridors and galleries that house exhibits dedicated to war and hardship. Some have claimed to hear faint echoes of voices where no one stands, as if the spirits of soldiers and lost souls linger among artifacts of their sacrifices. One particularly harrowing encounter told by a guard recounts a night shift where he felt an unsettling presence trailing him, a fleeting shadow that disappeared whenever he turned. Days later, he would learn about the numerous lives that ended tragically in conflicts that are now mere exhibits. In a chilling twist, paranormal enthusiasts who have visited with EMF detectors report readings in the museum's war gallery that suggested otherworldly energy. They claim that when they paused near remnants of the past, sounds akin to muffled cries and whispers swirled through the air, an auditory testament to the anguish encapsulated in those displays. Moreover, one staff member shared a traumatic tale of an apparition, a man dressed in historical military garb, appearing at the foot of the stairwell after a late-night event. Just as suddenly as he appeared, the figure vanished, leaving behind an icy chill that settled over the entire room. The disturbing interplay of rich history and ghostly phenomena beckons intrigue and dread. The National Museum of Australia stands not just as a repository of objects, but as a conduit for the pain and suffering that countless generations have endured. Air Disaster Memorial, Canberra Airport. Imagine standing at the Canberra Airport, where the hum of departures and arrivals offers little indication of a tragedy that lingers just beneath the surface. Here, in 1940, a doomed flight from Sydney met its tragic end, crashing just short of the runway, claiming the lives of all 5 aboard. This catastrophic event not only altered the lives of families, but seems to have woven itself into the very fabric of the airport itself. On that fateful day, Captain James Robert Ansett piloted the Avro Anson aircraft, unaware that a technical failure would guide him towards a deadly fate. In the frantic minutes leading up to the crash, communications fell silent, and the aircraft vanished from radar. It struck the ground like a malignant shadow, bringing with it an overwhelming sense of loss that the airport struggles to shake off. Today, amidst the bustle of travelers, whispers of the past entwine with the lively present. Over the years, visitors and airport staff have reported unnerving experiences that suggest the spirits of the afflicted have not moved on. Airport employees have often shared tales of hearing disembodied voices and strange echoes, particularly in the quiet early hours when the terminal is devoid of its usual life. Some have spotted fleeting figures moving just outside their periphery, only to turn and find nothing there. A few even describe an unsettling, icy draft brushing past them on a still day, an unwanted reminder of lives left adrift. And then there's the chilling account of a lady who describes her encounter as she waited alone. She claims to have felt an unexpected chill envelop her, followed moments later by a sudden urge to look up. What she saw was a vague outline of a man in uniform, standing just a few yards away. Panic washed over her as the figure seemed to dissolve into the air, leaving behind an unnatural silence that buzzed like static. Local folklore has grown around the memorial erected to commemorate those lost that day, suggesting that on stormy nights, faint cries can be heard emerging from the vicinity. A desperate plea carried by the wind. Though these claims lack concrete proof, the number of eyewitness accounts from various sources creates a chilling tapestry of shared experience that lingers in the minds of those who dare to listen. As you walk through this seemingly ordinary airport, remember that it is more than just a hub of travel. It's a place steeped in sorrow, where the memories of those who perished hang thick in the air. Red Hill Lookout, Deakin. Nestled in the heart of Deakin, the Red Hill Lookout stands as a stark reminder of the past, but it carries with it a weight that goes beyond its breathtaking views. In the 1930s, this lookout was constructed, serving as a symbol of progress and leisure. However, the site has earned a darker reputation over the years, woven into the very fabric of local lore. Once a popular picnic spot, it began to draw whispers of dread. Perhaps it's the history of the area that fuels these tales. Before the lookout was built, the land held significance for Indigenous Australians, steeped in rich cultural heritage. But when settlers arrived, they disrupted that peaceful existence, and the air thickened with pent-up sorrow that, some say, still lingers. People who visit the lookout report an unsettling sensation as they ascend. Many describe a sudden drop in temperature, as if the air itself becomes heavy, warning them of unseen eyes watching. Those among the trees have claimed to see ethereal figures gliding silently along the paths, their forms barely discernible against the dense greenery. There's a particular story that has unnerved locals for decades. It's said that, several years ago, a group of friends gathered, enjoying an evening under the stars. As they laughed and shared ghost stories, a thick fog rolled in unexpectedly, enveloping them in an eerie silence. Suddenly, one of the friends turned pale, pointing to an apparition at the lookout's edge. A woman, dressed in white, her eyes hollow, staring directly at them before disappearing into the mist. The thrill of the night evaporated, leaving them frozen in disbelief. But it doesn't end there. A local couple reported hearing children's laughter echoing through the trees one late afternoon. Despite being completely alone, they looked around but found nothing, just the echoing laughter that seemed to dance through the shadows. Was it the ghosts of children playing in a time long past, forever haunting the hill? Some night explorers have even claimed to capture strange orbs in their photographs, while others describe unexplained sounds resonating in the stillness. You might hear whispers carried by the wind, soft yet indistinct, enticing curious souls to venture deeper into Red Hill's mysteries. So, as you stand at the Red Hill Lookout, taking in the panoramic views, remember the history beneath your feet. It's more than just a simple lookout. It's a portal to lingering spirits, a space where stories of joy and sorrow intertwine hauntingly. Maybe next time you visit, you won't be alone. After all, Calthorpe's House, Red Hill. In the quiet district of Red Hill, nestled amidst the greenery, stands Calthorpe's House, a place steeped not just in history, but in ghostly encounters that chill the very soul. Built in the late 18th century, this grand Georgian villa has seen more than its fair share of life and death, making it one of the area's prime spots for those drawn to the supernatural. Calthorpe's House was home to the Calthorpe family, affluent residents who played a significant role in the local community. Their legacy is intertwined with the houses and gardens that surround the property. Once a slice of rural bliss, now an unsettling reminder of what once was. The house has witnessed the laughter of children, hushed whispers during social gatherings, and the slow decline of its grandeur as time passed. But with such a rich history naturally comes a darker tale. Locals and staff have often reported strange occurrences within its walls. The air thickens with an unshakable sense of being observed, as if the long-gone Calthorpes still roam the hallways, bound to their earthly dwelling. One of the most chilling accounts comes from a caretaker who, while preparing the house for an exhibition, claimed to hear distinct piano melodies emanating from the empty drawing room, melodies which stopped abruptly as she entered. This was no ordinary song. It was a tune that seemed to resonate with the sadness of lost love, echoing through the emptiness like a ghostly farewell. Visitors recount shadowy figures glimpsed in the corners of their eyes, fading into the darkness of age-old rooms where portraits of the Calthorpe family hang. In those portraits, the painted expressions are unsettling, almost as if they're aware of the living who gaze upon them. People have reported feeling a cold rush as they walked past certain portraits, a tingle that crawls down their spine, urging them to look back, only to find nothing but silence, even more unnerving. Some witnesses have felt an unseen force brush past them, a fleeting presence that evokes a sense of dread and curiosity simultaneously. Could it be the spirit of Lady Calthorpe, who is said to wander in search of her children, forever linked to a home that thrummed with their laughter? There's a lingering sense in Calthorpe's house that love and sorrow are intertwined, shaping the fabric of its history. But it's not just the ghostly encounters that keep the locals whispering. It's the uneasiness that clings to the air like a warning left unheeded. Then, Old Weetangara Cemetery, Weetangara. Beneath the creeping shadows of the Australian Capital Territory lies Old Weetangara Cemetery, a place where silence is thick with the weight of sorrow. Though it occupies a serene patch of land, the air is often charged with a disquieting energy. Established in the late 19th century, this cemetery holds the remains of some of the region's early settlers, many of whom met untimely ends that leave a chilling echo in the stories told by locals. As you step within its weathered gates, it becomes almost palpable. An unsettling chill wraps around you. Among its inhabitants are families who lived in this area through both prosperity and heartache, with grave markers bearing the dates of lives cut short, often due to disease or accidents that marred normal life. Legends have whispered about the tragic deaths of children buried there, contributing to the cemetery's haunting reputation. Over the years, visitors have reported sightings of spectral figures wandering mournfully among the gravestones, whispers of children laughing and playing, only to vanish into the shadows. One particularly eerie encounter still shakes the community. A night watchman, tasked with patrolling the cemetery grounds, recounted a night when he heard the unearthly giggling of children echoing around him. When he turned, ready to chase off what he assumed were intruders, he faced only an expanse of headstones dimly illuminated by the moonlight. Overwhelmed by an inexplicable dread, he hurried back to the entrance, feeling as if unseen eyes were scrutinizing him from behind those aged monuments. Further adding to its sinister reputation, visitors have noted cold spots, sudden gusts of wind on still nights, and the scent of flowers that wafts through the air despite no blooms in sight. Many have claimed to see orbs of light drifting among the gravestones under the cloak of darkness, leading the curious to believe that the spirits of the departed refuse to rest peacefully. But perhaps the most unsettling element of Old Weetangara Cemetery is the local folklore that shrouds it, a story of a man who once lived nearby. It is said that he lost his children to a tragic disease. Grief-ridden, he is believed to have returned to the cemetery nightly, mourning amidst the graves. His figure has been spotted repeatedly, a gaunt man, barely a whisper of life, wandering amongst his children's headstones, forever searching, forever lost, in a world that often tries to forget its dark past. Old Weetangara Cemetery exists as both a grave marker and a reminder. 11. Lanyon Homestead, Tharwa. In the quiet embrace of Tharwa, nestled just south of Canberra, lies a haunting relic of the past. Lanyon Homestead. This historic homestead, built in the 1850s by the pioneering Hartley family, is steeped in a legacy that is as chilling as it is fascinating. But don't let the picturesque scenery fool you. Behind its weathered walls lies a tale of tragedy and ghostly encounters that still permeate the air, captivating local residents and ghost hunters alike. The property, originally established to serve as a thriving pastoral estate, became the backdrop for hardship and loss as it changed hands over the years. One of the darkest chapters in Lanyon's history revolves around the untimely death of a young girl in the early 1900s. Local lore suggests that she wandered into the homestead's gardens, only to vanish without a trace, her fate a chilling whisper among the town's secrets. The garden is often cited as a site of eerie occurrences, where the laughter of children is said to echo even when no one is there to play. Visitors report unsettling sensations coursing through the house, as if unseen eyes are watching from the dimly lit corners of the rooms. Many have claimed to hear footsteps trailing behind them, and the chilling sound of a child's laughter can still be heard just before dusk, sending shivers down the spine of anyone brave enough to stay close to dusk. Some folks even suggest that the old piano in the parlor has a mind of its own, keys seemingly depressed without anyone ever laying a hand upon them. The paranormal activity at Lanyon Homestead hasn't escaped the notice of paranormal investigators, who have brought their equipment to document the ethereal encounters. While recorded EVPs remain elusive, the stories from locals can't be dismissed. One night, as a couple strolled through the gardens, they reported feeling an icy wind circle around them, followed by the unmistakable sound of giggling drifting through the leaves. They turned, expecting to see children playing, only to find the garden haunted by silence. On stormy nights, when the winds howl through the trees, locals swear they can sense a heavy sadness cloaking the property, echoing the grief that has lingered for generations. Yarralumla Brickworks, Yarralumla. Nestled in Yarralumla, the Yarralumla Brickworks sits quietly, an unassuming monument of crumbled brick and faded glory. But beneath its weathered facade lies a history soaked in labor, tragedy, and, some say, unresting spirits. Established in 1913, these brickworks once breathed life into Canberra's burgeoning landscape, producing the very bricks that helped build the city. Yet, like any industrious site, the brickwork saw its share of strife, both physical and supernatural. The ghostly presences here are said to stem from both the workers who toiled relentlessly and those who suffered grievous accidents within these walls. Tales of spectral figures, dressed in the attire of early 20th century laborers, wandering the desolate grounds echo in the whispers of locals. On occasion, visitors report seeing shadowy shapes darting out of the corner of their eyes, only to vanish upon closer inspection. The sound of machinery murmuring to life in the dead of night brings a chill to the spine, especially when no one is around to operate it. One particularly chilling account comes from a group of paranormal enthusiasts who explored the site shortly after the sun dipped below the horizon, armed with little more than flashlights and a camera. They hoped to catch a glimpse of the otherworldly. What they encountered was far more disturbing. As they moved from building to building, the air thickened, heavy with an oppressive energy. A sudden, disconcerting bang echoed from the old kiln, sending the group into a flurry of nervous speculation, only to find nothing but silence where they expected the sound of bricks. Yet, as they prepared to leave, one member felt a cold hand grasp her shoulder, forcing her to spin around. No one was there. Even the local residents have their share of stories. Long after dusk, joggers near the brickworks often report the feeling of being followed, a sensation so palpable that it leaves them glancing over their shoulders into the darkness, expecting to glimpse something lurking just out of sight. A chilling rumor persists. The malevolent spirit of a foreman known for his harsh treatment of workers, lingers here, unrested and vengeful. Some say he appears to those who dare to disrespect the site, while others simply feel a deep sense of dread pass over them as they wander close. What echoes through the histories compiled here are not merely bricks and mortar, but the lives forever changed and possibly lost. 13. Gungahlin Homestead, Crace, Gungahlin. In the heart of Crace, Gungahlin, lies the Gungahlin Homestead, a seemingly forgotten relic that holds a chilling narrative under its weathered facade. Built in 1872, this once bustling homestead anchored the community during the turbulent times of early Australian settlement. As families toiled the land, whispers of a dark history began to seep into its very walls, a tragic end that left shadows lingering far beyond the lives once lived here. One of the home's original owners, William Ginn, became a figure of both admiration and dread. The homestead bustled with energy during its heyday, but not all moments were filled with joy. As the years wore on, loss and despair crept in, claiming lives and filling the space with sorrow. The tales say that in the wake of a tragic accident that claimed the life of a child, the atmosphere shifted. Locals report that on moonless nights, you can hear faint cries echoing through the grounds, a heartbreaking reminder of the innocence lost. Those who venture to the homestead to photograph the crumbling structure often claim their cameras capture odd orbs of light. Few can shake the sensation of being watched as they tread carefully across the old wooden floorboards. There's something particularly eerie about the kitchen, once a place filled with the harsh clang of pans and laughter. Visitors have recounted feeling an inexplicable coldness pooling around them, as if unseen eyes pierced through the very fabric of their being. Many report sudden drafts that whip through the room, carrying with them a smell reminiscent of fresh-baked bread. Yet there's not another soul in sight. It's as if the homestead itself holds on to the memories of its past, the sense evoking moments frozen in time. Some have gathered around the fireplace, arms crossed, sharing their own ghostly encounters, whispers of what they've seen in the late hours. Shadows flitting within the dim light. One woman spoke of seeing a figure standing by the window, a woman dressed in period clothing, peering outside with an expression of longing. The moment their eyes met, the specter faded, leaving only the chill of the encounter hanging in the air. As dusk settles over Crace, there's a palpable tension that grips the grounds of Gungahlin Homestead. It's a place that draws the curious and the brave. But tread lightly. The spirits of those who lived and lost here seem to linger, forever intertwined with the fabric of this forsaken place. Could it be that they're waiting for something or someone? Perhaps, even now. The past is not truly behind us. "14. Cupakumbalong Homestead, Tharwa. In the serene surroundings of Tharwa, Australia, lies a place of haunting beauty, or, rather, a home of lingering souls. The Cupakumbalong Homestead stands not just as a relic of colonial architecture, but as a beacon for those touched by tragedy. Constructed in the 19th century, its walls have seen countless stories, but perhaps none as chilling as the one that lingers just beneath the surface. Originally built in the 1860s by Alfred and Mary Evans, this homestead was part of a larger land grant gifted during the colonial era. The couple, like many settlers of their time, faced immense hardship. Their lives were intertwined with the challenges of frontier living battling harsh weather, scarce resources, and the tumultuous relationship with indigenous peoples of the area. It's believed that the homestead was the backdrop to heart-wrenching tales, with locals hinting at both love and loss echoing in the very walls. Yet, it's not merely the history that pulses with life at Cupakumbalong. It's what's become of that history since. Many visitors and ghost enthusiasts have reported eerie occurrences that suggest the presence of spirits still wandering the property. Paranormal investigators often recount stories where chilling drafts sweep through rooms that were once filled with laughter. A cold atmosphere hangs heavily, almost suffocating, as if the shadows of the past have clung too tightly to the present. One of the most notorious accounts involves the ghostly figure of a woman, believed to be Mary Evans herself. Witnesses have described seeing her apparition roam the property, lost in thought or perhaps searching for something or someone she never found. It's said that on quiet nights, you can hear the faint sound of a distant lullaby woven into the wind, as if Mary is still trying to comfort her infant child. But it doesn't end there. Local paranormal groups have noted unexplainable incidents, like sudden drops in temperature and lights flickering, which seem to coincide with the telling of stories about the homestead's past. Accounts of footsteps echoing in empty hallways or doors, creaking open and shut, add to the unsettling atmosphere, leaving visitors questioning if they're truly alone. As the sun sets behind the mountains, the darkness shrouding Kupakumbalong becomes thicker, and with it, the sense that something doesn't quite belong. Perhaps it is the whispers of those who endured hardship, love, and loss, never quite ready to leave their home. 15. Mugga Mugga House Curley Family, Simonston. In the shadows of Simonston, Act, lies a quaint yet eerie relic. Mugga Mugga House, once home to the Curley family. Built in the 19th century, it's a sandstone cottage that seems to whisper secrets of heartache and despair. Today, it's recognized not only for its historical significance, but also for the chilling stories that haunt its corridors. The house was constructed in 1859 for a family deeply entwined with the early settler history of Australia. The Curley family faced their share of hardships, both in their daily existence and brutal tragedies. The couple, Daniel and Elizabeth Curley, raised their family within these walls, but it was marked by profound sorrow. Daniel passed away in a tragic accident, yet Elizabeth remained, tethered to her grief and the memories of her children. Fast forward to the present, and visitors often recount experiences that paint a rather unsettling picture. Imagine standing in the dimly lit sitting room where Elizabeth once comforted her children, only to feel a sudden chill, a coldness that doesn't match the season. Ghostly whispers seem to seep through the walls, murmuring the names of long-lost children. On some nights, locals claim to see fleeting shadows dart across the yard, shadows that carry an unmistakable sorrow. One particular tale stands out. It is said that during the late hours, if you focus on the grand oak tree that sits solitarily in the yard, you might catch a glimpse of a woman in white, her face obscured by a veil of time, standing beneath its branches. Eyewitnesses describe her as emanating a profound sadness, one that lingers in the air like the scent of crushed linden leaves. Some swear they can hear her whispered cries carried by the night breeze, a heartbreaking echo from a mother who never truly let go. Despite numerous investigations, the paranormal claims surrounding Mugga Mugga remain elusive. No concrete evidence has been captured. Yet personal accounts leave a haunting imprint. Children playing nearby often report feeling watched, as if unseen eyes are turning their innocent laughter into something that doesn't quite fit. Could it be that the spirit of Elizabeth Curley persists, safeguarding her home and the memories within? As the sun sets over Simonston and the last rays of daylight fade, remember that some places carry more than mere history. They bear the weight of untold anguish and sorrow. Here at Mugga Mugga House, the lines between life and death blur, leaving visitors to ponder what really lingers within these walls. And does a mother's love ever truly die? And there you have it. Those were the top 15 haunted places in the Australian Capital Territory, showcasing the chilling tales woven into Canberra's history. If you enjoyed the ghostly tour, give a thumbs up and subscribe for more spine-tingling adventures. Don't miss our next video, where we'll uncover the secrets of Australia's most haunted hotels. Until then, brave souls keep your lights on.